and welcome to another episode of the Basic Thoughtonomics podcast. This is the first visual episode I've done everything audio beforehand, and looking very forward to having this guest on. He's one of the bloggers at Barstool Sports, well known for his rant on New Jersey Transit a couple years ago. Just timeless moment there. He is the great Frank Fleming. And Francis, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Busy day, when there's NFL games on Thursday, I have to do my NFL picks on the Sports Encyclopedia. Plus, I did a soda review. I'm writing my on the state right now.
Very nice.
And then I record my own podcast at 10.
Very nice.
But I was lucky enough to get out for a little while today, walk around a park, so I could still try to get up to 5,000 steps.
Where do you live? Or you're from Jersey, right?
Yeah, I live in Belleville.
Okay. Yeah, I'm from Saddlebrook, so pretty close by.
Yeah, I actually went to a park in Lyndhurst.
Okay. I was going to ask you about some North Jersey stuff later. But first I wanted to just talk about your story, because I feel like might be in a similar boat. I just told you I went to school for communications, TV, radio, had preparations to get involved with the sports department, but I was just very shy, timid. The self-confidence wasn't there in college, had a lot of negative thoughts in my head, and just never really got out of my comfort zone. Didn't get involved with the school TV station or the school radio station or get an internship. So I didn't really get that hands-on experience in college. And then those kind of personality traits carried over into my professional endeavors. And then I started doing this podcast, and brought out a lot of confidence in me. Just started getting out of my comfort zone, doing things that scared me, having new experiences, failing, not being afraid of failure. And now I'm trying to do what you do, blog, talk for a living, do podcasts, all that. So if you wouldn't mind just talking about your experience and how you ended up at Barstool.
Well, that sounds a lot very similar to what happened to me 20 years ago when I was graduating Montclair State. I was a broadcast student, and I did participate in the TV studio there, because that was the whole broadcast department, was the TV studio. But what I didn't get involved with is a lot of on-campus activities. I lived off campus. I lived with my parents. I had to take the goddamn New Jersey Transit because I wasn't driving at the time. And believe me, a lot of my pent-up frustration and hatred for New Jersey Transit come from those years.
Oh, okay.
Really, really do. I mean,
it was just all kind of built up to that moment that one day.
What was that?
No, all your frustration from NJ Transit kind of built up to that. To your rant that day?
Yes. They had a radio station at the time, Montclair State, but it was poorly run. It was always getting shut down, so I actually never even participated in that, and I think I probably should have. There's a lot of things I probably should have done more in college, and of course, after I graduate college, I couldn't find anything in the field. So ironically enough, while I'm trying to find jobs, I keep myself busy. That's how I started the Sports Encyclopedia in 2001. And
that was your career? Your full-time job?
Yeah, well, that's just my website.
Oh, okay.
And
so what were you doing to make income? It's tough to come by?
Yeah, was it?
So how are you making income?
I wasn't.
And then, what were your jobs up until Barstool?
Well, I finally got my license, and that really unburdened me, because trying to find a job and relying on public transportation is fucking impossible, especially when you got New Jersey Transit, who every time you had an interview. And you know what it is? You go on the bus that's down. Say, for example, the Bloomfield Avenue. There's supposed to be a bus every 10 minutes, or there's supposed to be a bus for if you're going to Let's say you're taking the 28 up to West Caldwell.
Okay.
It's supposed to be one every half hour, but there isn't. You'll wait there for an hour. One bus is late, and then you see two buses come together at the same time. So basically, the one that was supposed to be there 20 minutes ago is now arriving now, and the one that's supposed to come in 10 minutes is arriving now. So the people who are going to come for the one that's in 10 minutes are fucked, and the people who are waiting for 20 minutes are fucked. And the two buses got to enter the convoy. Ain't it good? And then they do this like this thing. And New Jersey Transit they'll sometimes skip stops and they'll like wave at you. We're full.
I can't say I've had that experience of relying on public transportation. So I guess I've had a car since I was 17. So I guess I've been fortunate in that regard. But it sounds very frustrating.
28.
What was that?
I didn't get my license until I was 28.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So finally I got my license, and that like unburdened me. Right. And then short time after I got my license, I started working at the courthouse. I was also doing some substitute teaching by then.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, literally.
Yeah, I was a substitute teacher for like 2 or 3 years. I only got called like a handful of times.
Okay.
I sucked at it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. You only need 60 college credits to do it. What level were you substituting at?
Bloomfield.
What grade level?
I once did like a 4th grade, and I was at the middle school like about 3 or 4 times.
What'd you prefer?
The middle school.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't seem like the type of guy who'd be good around like elementary school kids. Doesn't seem like your style.
No. So I was still looking at maybe substitute teaching when the courthouse came along. I took the civil service exam to get that job.
Okay. So what'd you do at the courthouse?
Was that?
What'd you do at the courthouse?
I started out working in the criminal records department, and then eventually I moved up to become a court clerk.
All right. I don't know shit about like courts and stuff, so
I'm the one that like would fill out the records, fill out bench warrants, fill out release orders, send release orders to jail so people get out of jail.
Interesting work.
Input the record into the computer system. Input the record the court proceedings, things like that.
And then, so were you working there when you had the rant on New Jersey Transit that went viral?
Yes, I was.
And just what was the reaction from that, the fallout? Just what was that like, all the attention you got from that?
Well, I guess it started my 15 minutes of fame. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I was on the news. I was on the MLB network. Barstool invited me to be on KFC radio, and basically Dave loved some of the stuff I said and offered me a job working part-time. And then one thing led to another. It took 3 years, but that's how I got to Barstool.
And are you full-time now?
Full-time now, yes.
Dude, good for you. That's just like
I've been full-time since November.
Oh, man.
And I finally quit the courthouse after 16 and a half years. And let me tell you something. You see what we're doing with this Zoom?
Yeah.
They've been doing Zoom court sessions since motherfucking March. It's fucking annoying. I hate Zoom. Zoom can go fuck itself. The only thing worse than Zoom is fucking Scopia. And Scopia needs to die.
I don't know what Scopia is.
It's a similar conferencing system like Zoom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties there before. But, I mean, good for you, man. Glad to hear you're full-time. And that's just like a story of how, you know, it can kind of just, your career can take off like that. Like you had that rant, 15 minutes of fame, and that just like set you on your way. So,
and of course, I have my own podcast, Allow Me to Be Frank, and now I'm doing another podcast with Coach Doug's Barstool Units.
Yes, saw that. And I started looking at some of your some of your food reviews. I love food. I'm a very like picky eater though. I'm a simple eater. And I'll start with like the negatives and positives of these food reviews. I'll talk about the more recent ones. I saw you tried the McRib, and what really turned me off was you took the pickles. Oh, hit my microphone. You took the pickles off the sandwich, and pickles are absolutely delicious. Like how could
I
you
don't
do
like
that?
pickles. I don't like pickles.
Really?
No.
I'm not a big pickle guy, but there's something about those fast food type of pickles, those ones you get at like Roy Rogers. I
Nope.
mean, I can
I always
fucking
eat
eat those for
pickles. I
days.
always that's why I order. I order things plain because I don't like ketchup either. But I don't like pickles.
I want to tell you how much my brother loves pickles. You know those like sometimes those topping stations, they have them at like City Field. They have like the
Yep.
sauerkraut and like with the napkins, they have the condiments. Sometimes they have just pickles in there. And my brother will straight up like make sure no one's looking. He'll get like a napkin and with his bare hands take pickles out of the pickle section of the condiment thing. And but I gotta give him credit because
And of
they're that
course
good.
that's one reason not to grab pickles out of that condiment section.
That's true. Um, yeah. So I can't say I agree with you there with the pickles. Um, I saw your hot dog review the other day at what was it, Jaunty's, and what was the place called? Something in Nutley.
Jim Dandy's.
Oh, I was way off. Jim Dandy's. Uh, first of all, I mean, I just kind of started following you. You're big into the raw dog, right? Just like plain hot
Yes.
dog, dude. That is my style. But I get so criticized for that, for just eating it plain. And I just have to, I mean, I'm glad I could bond with you on that. Just eating a hot dog plain. There's nothing better. Sometimes I'll use
Nothing.
ketchup, but depends on where it's from.
Never. Ketchup. Never. I can understand mustard. I can understand relish. Ketchup is a never.
Yeah. Well, I'll eat ketchup. I'll eat ketchup on like eggs.
Do
That's
you know what
about
I
it.
found out? You know what I found out that absolutely grossed me out?
What's that?
Patrick Mahomes loves ketchup.
What is that? Why does that gross you out? Like, why does that shock you?
That doesn't shock me. The fact that he eats ketchup on turkey.
Oh, are you serious? That's disgusting.
That's that's what grossed me out. They were talking about Patrick Mahomes on Thanksgiving, likes putting ketchup on turkey.
Oh, what did they say that on one of the games?
I saw it either on the internet or on one of the games. Yeah,
Oh my god, that's disgusting. But
he also likes putting ketchup on ham.
I don't know. I don't eat ham. I eat Taylor ham, not regular ham. But that
Well,
doesn't sound good either.
ham, I guess with the eggs is they have a lot of ketchup on there.
What was that?
But Taylor
Oh,
ham is not really
yeah.
ham. It's something different.
But we do you call it Taylor ham? You don't call it pork roll, right?
I call it Taylor ham.
Yes, thank you. That I think that's like a Central Jersey or a South Jersey thing, which I just can't.
That's from that's from the Philadelphia people, the same people that call subs hoagies.
I hear that sometimes too up here. So I don't know if that's just like a Philly thing.
Wawa calls it hoagie.
Yeah. And there's Wawas up here now.
Yeah, but Wawa up until a few years ago was primarily South Jersey and Pennsylvania.
Right. Right. But yeah, I'm glad you call it Taylor ham because that's what it is.
At the Devils games last year, well, they were supposed to have a month-long vote, and you got a pin if you ordered Taylor ham. If you said Taylor ham, and you got a pin that said pork roll if you ordered pork roll. They depending on how you order it, that's the pin they gave you.
But I don't get what the pin do. I don't get it.
It's a pin that says, "I voted to call it Taylor ham."
They had that at the Devils game.
Yes.
I don't know. I guess did they do a poll? Did they see like which?
Yeah, they have
which one
Taylor
won?
ham and pork roll.
Yeah, but I'm saying did they do a poll to see like which fans did more fans call it pork roll or did more fans call it Taylor ham?
Yeah, that was to vote for it, but it basically got short-circuited when the COVID shut down the season.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it was the last game I went to is when I got that pin, which was the day before the shutdown.
Yeah. And it's crazy how life has just kind of been different since then. I since you're from the North Jersey area, have you been to other hot dog joints? Have you ever been to Hot Grill in Clifton?
Yes, I've tried that place. The video's up.
Oh, you were there already. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Because I love their hot dog plain. Did you eat it plain, I assume?
Yep.
Yeah. Most of my friends get like chili or get it all the way.
Well, my favorite place is actually Rut Hut.
Yes, I've had that once. I was very thrilled with it.
Rut Hut is close to me.
Okay.
And I go to Rut Hut all the time. Rut Hut's actually my favorite spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard. Well, I went there once. Good things on that. Have you ever been to Hank's Frank's? That's in Hasbrook Heights. But
No.
Those are like the dirty water dogs. But
no, haven't been to Hank's Frank's yet.
They're like still well known. You should check that out. Being that you're a food connoisseur. What about like fast food? What's your favorite fast food? I have a hot take here. I think Burger King is the best fast food joint going. I think I might be in the minority on that, but I don't know. The original chicken sandwich to me is the best fast food item out there.
Burger King's chicken sometimes is gross.
No,
I
eat it.
I mean, you have McDonald's chicken nuggets, Wendy's chicken nuggets, Burger King's chicken nuggets are barely edible.
Well, I don't get the chicken nuggets. I get the original chicken sandwich. It's different.
I haven't had that in a long time.
Dude, it's the best.
I mean, the Whopper is good, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes they can miss on that. The fries at the Burger King are not great.
Dude, really? I love them, especially when they get them nice and salty. I think they're the best.
To me, my favorite fry is the McDonald's fries.
Nah, Burger King.
Although McDonald's hamburgers are very overrated.
They're what is very overrated?
Hamburgers at McDonald's are very overrated.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're just like pedestrian. They're just all right.
Chicken nuggets are good. McNuggets here.
I agree.
But to me, the best burger is the big fast food places is Wendy's.
Which burger?
Wendy's.
But like, what's the name of the burger?
Single, just the regular Wendy's single.
And
I like the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
Okay. See, I don't know. I'm a
Wendy's
chicken
fries,
nuggets guy at Wendy's. I think Wendy's
fries are pretty good too. Wendy's fries and chicken nuggets are good. Overall, of the big three, I like Wendy's the best.
I feel like that's probably a more popular opinion than what I have in Burger King. But I don't know. I just got to give a hot take there. Another thing I picked up on what you do is you're a big singer. Did you always have a passion of singing? Was that always a hobby of yours?
Sometimes out of frustration. You know, when the connection collapsed, I was actually singing.
What were you singing?
Frozen window screens, nothing's working at all, makes for a very frustrating time.
Well done. Another thing we have in common, we're both diehard Mets fans, and I just wanted to get your take on what you think of this new ownership regime. Are you optimistic about where things are going? I mean, I saw we might sign James McCann, but I thought with Cohen coming on, we'd be getting all the best free agents. I don't want to see him settling for second best.
McCann is actually a good signing. If they get McCann and go after Springer.
Yeah, well, I think Springer's most important.
So, I mean, some people are trying to say that what's Steve Cohen done yet? But you know what? They can't say
it. He's just got the money.
Nobody's signed yet.
No.
So until there's movement and the Mets then you can start judging what's going on. you can't really judge anything until there's actual movement, and there's no movement. There's been small signings, and the Mets have made some good, solid signings, but there hasn't been any big splashes for any team yet.
Right. But I was just kind of...
I don't consider 38-year-old Charlie Morton signing with the Braves a big splash signing.
I agree with that.
He's
still a good player.
I don't consider Lance Lynn going to the White Sox a big splash.
I think so. He was one of the best pitchers in the American League last year.
Yeah, what?
He was one of the best pitchers in the American League last year.
Yeah, but he's not a great pitcher. I mean, he's not.
I don't know if he's great, but he's in the.
No, it's a good signing, but it's not a splash signing.
Right.
I'm talking. There's not been a splash move yet.
I agree. Are you optimistic about just the change in ownership, just the change in culture that's hopefully going to come?
If the Wilpons were there right now, and Brody was still there, they would have probably traded Andres Jimenez to get Brian Dozier back.
That's a good one.
And they would have re-signed. Their splash move would have been to get signed another $20 million contract for Jed Lowry.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Obviously Brody is terrible. He was terrible. That Cano Diaz for Kelenic and Justin Dunn. A lot of people are harping on Kelenic, but Justin Dunn quietly had a great year in Seattle too. Yeah, Brody didn't do much.
Deal. It was an asinine deal by an asinine GM that was an asinine con man.
Who? Brody?
It was an asinine deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and Brody didn't do shit. He just got J.D. Davis. That's pretty much the only good deal he actually did. What were your thoughts on I mean, you've been a Met fan for years. I just remember 2006. That was one of the most one of the most fun seasons to watch. What was your reaction after Game 7? Because I know that was one of the most heartbreaking nights of my life.
Oh God.
Because after ND made that catch, I thought there was no way they lose.
I thought they'd be back the next year.
Yeah.
I was sick as a dog. I had bronchitis, an upper respiratory infection.
In 2007?
No, 2006 during the NLCS. I was sick as a dog.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, I agree with. I thought they had just as good a team in 2007, if not a better team. Just what were your thoughts on that collapse? I know you were actually on Carton and Roberts a couple weeks ago.
I still have flashbacks to that collapse. Every time I hear the song "Free Fallin'" by Tom Petty.
Yeah. That was miserable. I remember when it was over, there was almost a sense of relief. There's no more pain I have to endure anymore. I remember that Monday after the season finished. I was just the entire
postseason was a blur.
Well,
the entire postseason was a blur.
Well, they had just as good a team for the first 5 months of the season, and then they fucking choked. They quit on Willie. I'll
never forget what Willie Randolph said. These struggles will make the champagne taste sweeter.
I think he did say that. It's a good memory.
And he should have been fired for saying that. Instead, they brought him back the next year and waited till they were in Anaheim and fired him at 3:00 in the morning because they're a bunch of fucking cowards.
Yeah, well, that was obviously a terrible PR move, but I liked Willie. I thought he was a great manager. I don't know. I didn't put the collapse on him. I just thought the players quit.
I put the collapse on him.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I loved him.
Here's why.
Why?
These struggles will make the champagne taste sweeter.
So that one quote you're attributing to the collapse of the team?
That team was arrogant. That team was a bunch of hot dogs. That team coasted sometimes. It didn't always play seriously. And when the collapse was happening, he needed to get in there and kick ass. And he didn't. All he could say was, these struggles make the champagne taste sweeter.
I mean, now that I think about it, that just run was so like disappointing. It was almost like late 80s-esque for the Mets. You thought this team was going to be a great team for 5 to 10 years. We had Reyes, Beltran.
80s Mets won a World Series.
Right. Yeah, and that 07 collapse really just, everything went to shit after that. It collapsed next year too. I mean, it wasn't a 7.5 game lead. I think it was a 3.5 game lead. But still, that was painful. The last days at Shea.
I was at that last game.
Were you?
Yep.
That's tough. Did you stay for the ceremony after the game?
Yes.
I don't know how I'd feel about that. It's like, fuck.
It was numbing.
Like our season's over, and now we have to try and be happy to say goodbye to Shea.
It was numbing.
Yeah.
It was like Novocaine.
I couldn't imagine like my thought process being in that moment.
And the last person to come out, and welcome back, Tom Glavine, who the Mets should have known that Tom Glavine was going to suck in that final game in 2007, because instead of playing his usual Sweet Child of Mine, he had the Go-Go's. Vacation, all I want to get away. Vacation, gonna stay away.
How do you know?
Vacation, all I want to get is so.
That was really his warm-up song for that game?
It should have been.
I remember Sweet Child of Mine, though. That was his warm-up song.
Yeah. But that game, it should have been Vacation. Vacation, all I want to get away.
I get it.
Back for a fucking pack.
I didn't. I didn't pick up on the joke. Sorry. That was very funny.
Tom Glavine's the two most memorable moments for him as a Met was his first game and his last game were both equally terrible horror shows.
I don't remember his first start. I didn't really start watching the Mets series till 04. But yeah, I remember 03 was his first year with the team.
He started on opening day, and the Mets lost to the Cubs. I think the final score was like 14-1, if I can remember right. It was just a fucking blowout. Corey Patterson was like hitting the ball everywhere.
Remember him?
Yeah. I was actually sitting for that game by Tommy Agee's number 20.
Oh, where in the nosebleeds?
Yes.
Where he hit the home run?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean Glavine.
Yeah, sitting up there, you can actually go, "Hi, how you doing?" You could sitting up there where the Tommy Agee number is.
That's
you
high.
You could turn around and see what movie they're showing on the planes that are going by.
Dude, that is high, especially at Shea, because Shea is so much bigger than Citi Field. So, yeah, when you were in those nosebleeds, you were like fucking high up.
Yeah, that's where I saw it for opening day in 2003, as the Mets got pummeled by the Cubs.
Did you go to a lot of opening days, or that was just one in particular you had gone to?
I've been to every opening day since 1998, except for 2004. Well, this year, of course, too, but,
Right.
But no one. I was there in spirit.
Of course. Hopefully we can have an opening day this year. With fan. Oh, you had a cardboard cutout?
Yeah.
Very nice. It was so weird without fans, though, this year. Fucking missed it.
It did suck. Still sucks.
Indeed. Hopefully we can get to normal times. Get the fans back there.
I just hate when people even say the new normal.
Oh, I hope not.
This is the new normal. Well, as AOC says, they're wonderful. No, with Greta Thunberg saying, nobody should do anything. Shut down for them. Shut it down. And meanwhile, the Gavin Newsom says, shut down everything, and then goes out and goes with the party. And Nancy Pelosi, No one should be allowed to do anything except for me. Spa day. Spa. Every day is a spa day.
Really? I'm not too big into the
And look at
politics.
this. There's an $18 million dress for Nancy Pelosi. Isn't she look beautiful in it? Yes, and we paid for it, but we should pay even more for it because her beauty inspires us all. NBC.
Well done.
NBC. The more you know. We should all be peasants and live like ants as everyone else is the queen. Nee.
I know it is very frustrating because we can't do the things we normally love to do. Can't go to sporting games. You can't go to Devils games. I don't even know. Are they going to have hockey this year? Because it's a big thing. Is that playing in Canada, right? Having that travel going back.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing yet, but the target right now is January 13th.
I hope so.
And players are starting to get ready to report to camp.
I hope so.
So the NHL is the T's and I's aren't the I's aren't crossed, the T's aren't dotted yet, but there should be something soon.
I hope
they're
so.
like 90%. They're not 95% there. They just got to find out the final protocols, and the season should start on the 13th of January.
Yeah, because I know that's a big thing. Like all those 7 teams in Canada, they talked about the Canadian teams having their own division.
It's going to be a 56-game season.
Yeah,
I mean, in
much.
the NBA, the Toronto Raptors are going to play in Tampa.
Yeah.
You know, they were actually flirting with playing in Newark.
The Raptors, really?
Yeah.
At the Prudential Center?
Yep, it was down between Buffalo, Tampa, and Newark, and the players voted for Tampa for obvious reasons.
Yeah, you talk about like 2 probably polar opposite cities, Newark and Tampa.
Well, that's not why.
Well, why?
Today it was 35 degrees and there was snow flurries.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different factors.
What do you think weather was like in Tampa today?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in May and June, who knows? We'll have to deal with that humidity. That hot weather.
These are basketball players. They don't care.
Yeah. No, but I mean, there's big differences other than the weather.
Between Newark
and Tampa.
They want to have spring and summer all year long.
Yeah. I can't say I blame them.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with anything else except they're not going to have winter. They're going to have spring weather whenever they're playing home. How about the fact that the San Francisco 49ers have to play in Arizona because of Santa Clara?
Yeah, that's fucking weird because I guess they have some county regulations.
And the mayor of Austin ordered a shutdown that people can't leave their homes except to get groceries, go to the doctor, or get essential things.
In Texas? Austin, Texas?
Yep. Well, Austin is the most liberal part of Texas.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's where the University of Texas is located.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of college professors.
Right.
So you had the mayor of Austin say that people couldn't go anywhere, that they couldn't leave their homes, they shouldn't travel.
That's interesting.
He made the announcement while on vacation in Mexico, Acapulco.
Are you serious?
He made it. I don't know if it was Acapulco, but he made the announcement while on vacation in Mexico.
Yeah, it must be nice. You're on vacation, telling people they can't. I mean, obviously, we're just trying to encourage social distancing and trying to contain the spread of the virus.
There's a lot of hypocrisy in it.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to say that when you're on vacation in Mexico.
I can't wait till the day comes where I don't have to wear a mask anymore. But you know what? I'll wear a mask. You know.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me that much, but I hear what you mean. It's just like sometimes little like instances where I'm about to go out and I'm like, shit, I forgot my mask.
On the way home from Barstool yesterday, I ran into Karen.
Into who?
A Karen.
What's that mean?
You know those gaiters don't really work. You should be wearing an M168 mask and a surgical mask. I don't want to get in the elevator with you. Did you get off the elevator?
Why are they called Karens?
You haven't heard that meme?
I have not, or I haven't seen it or heard of it.
Well, someone like calls the cops on like someone just doing something or something like that, and just like freaks out about people not wearing a mask. The name, there'll be someone complaining named Karen, and it's become a thing on the internet. A Karen.
I have not heard of that. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there like that. So you wear a gaiter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wear the surgical mask. I haven't really tried the gaiter. I don't know. Mask works for me.
Well, I got Devils gaiters, Mets gaiters, Nets gaiters, Dolphins gaiters.
There you go. All your teams.
Yep.
And they say they don't work as I hadn't heard that. They're not as effective as other.
Well, this is
masks.
So you shouldn't even be out anymore. And she had the thing on there. She had the thing on there. You did. She had a button on there. Stop vegan and proud on her purse. Randy, everything I think should be what you think, and if you don't think so, you should go to jail. She's one of those, probably.
Unfortunately, there are some people like that who just think their way is like the right way and just take their opinion so serious.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I understand people are trying to be safe, but, you know, everyone has their own method for what they want to do.
My phone's starting to die.
All right. I mean, well, yeah, we can wrap it up. This was a good conversation. Really enjoyed it. Appreciate you giving me a few minutes of your time.
All right. Well, I hope your podcast does well.
Appreciate that. Yeah, keep in touch going forward, and yeah, keep following you at Barstool. And thanks, Frank, and have a good night.
All right, you too.
Good night.
Night.
And that'll wrap things up on the latest episode of the Basic Thoughtonomics podcast. I'm your host, Chris Grosso, and want to thank Frank again so much for coming on. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, first visual episode. Thanks so much. Would love to hear any and all feedback on it, whether comments, anything at all. Thanks, guys, and have a great night.